All right, today we're going to decode a massive market shift that pretty much happened overnight. And look, this isn't about hype or fear. It's about really understanding what changed, why it changed, and what it means for the future of software, for jobs, and for business. So let's dive in. So let's start with a number, $285 billion. On February 4th, that's how much value just poof, got wiped from the stock market. A colossal amount of value just gone in a remarkably short period of time.
So naturally, everybody's looking around going, wait, what just happened? What on earth could trigger a sell-off that big, that fast? And this is where it gets really interesting, because it wasn't any of the usual culprits, right? It wasn't a recession, it wasn't a new war breaking out, it wasn't some surprise move on interest rates. Nope, this was something else entirely. Turns out it was just one single announcement from one AI company. That's literally it. One press release about a new capability, and bam! It sent this massive shockwave through the entire market. Okay, so let's dig into this $285 billion mystery. Investors, of course, they gave it a name pretty fast. Some called it the SaaS apocalypse, like an apocalypse for software as a service companies. The more official name, though, is the Anthropic effect. And this thing didn't hit everyone equally. No, the pain was super concentrated. We're talking enterprise software, legal tech, and the big IT service providers. These weren't just random casualties. They were ground zero. And you have to understand something really important about markets. This wasn't just a knee-jerk emotional panic. When they move this decisively, it's because they're being strategic. They're signaling a deep, fundamental shift. They saw something that they believe permanently changes the game for entire industries. So what was that something? What was this big change? Well, let's get into the tech that was behind all of this. We're talking about a completely new class of AI, something that works on a whole different level. The company that made the announcement was Anthropic, and they introduced something built around what are called AI agents. Now, this is not just another chatbot that you ask a question to. Think bigger. This is an AI that can actually plan out complex work, do all the steps, and then hand you the finished result, end to end. And this comparison really shows you what a massive leap this is. The old AI, the stuff we've gotten used to, it's like a really smart intern. It's great for helping out with tasks, writing an email, summarizing a document. But this new AI, it's like a fully automated department. It doesn't just help with the workflow, it becomes the workflow. Okay, this brings us to what is probably the most important part of this whole thing. This is the real aha moment. Why did one new feature cause a financial earthquake? It all comes down to a fundamental shift. A shift from selling people tools to selling them results. So let's be super clear. Why did the markets really react? This wasn't some sci-fi panic about AI taking over. No, this was a cold, hard financial calculation. What was happening is that the market was actively repricing business models that overnight looked incredibly vulnerable. Investors looked at how whole industries make their money, and they realized the very foundation was starting to crack. Let's break this down even further. Think about it. A software as a service company, what do they sell? They sell access to a tool, usually through licenses. An IT services firm, they sell blocks of people's time, people hours. But this new AI, it sells something completely different. It sells the final result. And so investors started asking some really tough questions. Like, why would I pay for 50 different software licenses when one AI agent can do all of those jobs for the whole team? Or why would I pay a consulting firm for 1,000 hours of work when an AI can deliver the finished project for a fraction of that? Okay, so this one event, it's actually a signal. It's pointing to 3 huge tectonic shifts that are starting right now. And this is way bigger than just Anthropic or one new product. We need to look at the bigger picture here. All right, here are the 3 big shifts that are happening. Number 1, we're moving from software as a service to what you could call outcomes as a service. Number 2, we're going from labor arbitrage to AI arbitrage. And number 3, our roles are changing from being tool users to becoming AI orchestrators. So that first shift is huge. For decades, the value was in the software tool itself. Now, the value is just in the final result, and that ties directly into the second shift, the move to AI arbitrage. Instead of finding cheaper humans somewhere in the world to do a task,
companies will just find cheaper computation. It's all about finding the most efficient path to that final result.
And that third shift, well, it hits the workforce directly. It's basically splitting the workforce into two distinct groups. You're either someone who tells the AI what to do, an orchestrator, or you're someone who's doing the kind of work that AI can already handle. Okay, so let's wrap up by focusing on what this all means for you, for me, for our skills, and our jobs. What does it actually mean to be an orchestrator versus an operator?
So the big, scary question, does this mean jobs are dead? And the answer is no, but it absolutely means that some roles are going to shrink, and shrink dramatically, while other roles are going to explode in value. This isn't really about replacement. It's about a total re-evaluation of where value comes from.
Think about it like this. If your job is mostly about executing the same repeatable tasks over and over, yeah, the pressure from AI is going to get intense. But if your work is about judgment, about strategy, about understanding human context, or making critical decisions, then AI becomes this incredible amplifier for your skills. It makes you more valuable, not less. The people who will be most valuable in this new world are the AI orchestrators. These are the folks who have the wisdom to know exactly where to use AI to get the biggest bang for your buck, and, maybe even more importantly, where not to use it. They know how to check the AI's work and how to weave it into a real strategy, turning this raw power into a massive advantage instead of just chaos. And if you zoom out to the company level, the winners here aren't going to be the ones who just cut the most jobs. The winning organizations will be the ones that build these AI-augmented teams. Think smaller, faster, super strategic groups that are producing maybe 10 times the output of their old-school competitors. It's really a race for speed and scale. Look, the market has already reacted. That financial repricing, it's done. The real decisions are what come next. This whole AI transition, it's not some far-off concept anymore. It is here, right now. So the only real question left is, for you, are you building a team of orchestrators? Are you becoming one? If you want to keep getting clear, practical explanations of these huge AI shifts without all the hype and panic, this is exactly what we decode here. So make sure you subscribe.